Okay, folks, here we are at Hacienda Heights Community Center, and here's their how they see they have a I'll call it tile type floor, linoleum, whatever it is. It's not carpet. Okay, here, and we just got there's their stage. They've got the okay, and you see, look up there, and how they have the seats like a theater. Is this what's happening here? Okay. Is this cool or what? What happened in Rowland Heights here? Oh. Is this our lead singer here?
What?
They tell me you're the lead singer here.
I don't think so.
Raul de Bayonne.
I remember you.
A face like this, how could you forget? You probably have
I
nightmares.
haven't seen you in years.
In ages even.
In ages.
But did you know that if you go to YouTube, on my YouTube channel, I have 339 subscribers. You could be 340 right there.
You know, I go on the internet when I have to. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, well, there's so much stuff. Well, you find out what's happening on the dark side of the moon. Oh, are you ready for that? I tell you, it's just see what you've inspired me with all. And your name. This is my wife, Cindy. We're from Rowland Heights.
I remember you from the meetings I used to go to years ago.
Yeah, and your name again, sir? Because
Mike Williams.
you're the man.
President.
You're the man.
No,
Whoa. And and I remember it was a beautiful day when you called me a neocon.
Well, I don't remember that, but if you say so.
Okay. Well, I think you have a very nice accommodations here.
Yeah. Well, this is the community center here. This community center was funded by the Dump funds.
Dump?
Yeah, the Puente Hills landfill was the largest regional landfill in big space.
Yeah.
And the funds from that paid for this.
Oh yeah, because
we were on the Dump committee.
Yeah.
We went downtown and talked to the supervisors. And Don held his promise. He promised he would get it closed, and he did.
Yeah. Well, he okay, we will go there. I'll start.
I really miss Don, and I miss Janice.
Yeah. Do not get me going, because if you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see I put up videos on the supervisors meetings, and I take it upon myself and my duty to God and country. Yes, that's what it's saying. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be careful what I say.
No, hey, I'll never repeat it, but that a lot of stuff is going on.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I watch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But so you.
Yeah.
It's just different.
I understand. But I know what your next interrogatory. You like that's a big one. I haven't used that one in a long time, and that is, what the hell is somebody from Rowland Heights doing here?
Same thing that I was doing when I went to Rowland Heights.
You know something? I could follow. I got shot by one of the local transients over here. Huh? Did it make the Sanger Valley Tribune? Hell no. But you guys, what was it, 2 nights ago, or was it Saturday or something? You damn near had a riot in here. And I hate missing a good riot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're just... Okay.
It's nice.
There's this Serrano fella. There's from... that's that young lady. She's Adrian. Okay. Okay. Hand me the enlightenment. I need to be enlightened. Okay, thank you. Oh, this is going to be great. Home Depot, yeah. You want to look at it, you go ahead.
Home Depot?
No, Home Key. Okay.
Association May meeting, general membership meeting. Before we get the meeting started, I will share with you the meeting of the Hacienda Heights Improvement Association are open to members and the public. This volunteer board of directors for the HHIA, a nonprofit, are not elected officials. nor public employees. As such, these meetings are held in the interest of sharing information with our members and the public in attendance. Disruptions are counterproductive to our goals and in completing our meeting agenda. Thank you for your support and attendance. And I will share with you that if any behaviors become unruly, I will just end the meeting immediately. Thank you very much and welcome this evening. The meeting is called to order. Real quick, my name is Scott Martin. I am the Vice President of the HHIA. I am also this evening performing the function of the President's role as meeting facilitator, as Secretary, and also the Treasurer. So please, bear with me, have patience while I try to function with all these responsibilities this evening, and welcome board. We're going to do roll call. Randy Black is absent, excused. Phyllis Rokas. Julie Tan, she is absent. John Ford is absent, excused. Andrea Gordon, absent. Cindy Greenup. Here. Jerry Kleinfeld. Here. Shozhen Ku, absent, excused. Jeffrey Lynn. And Andrea Quinones. Steve Wu, absent. So for the board, thank you, Jeffrey. I got into roll call and forgot the Pledge of Allegiance. See? Can I ask the acting captain of the industry station, Lieutenant Gary, if she'd please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Look at that camera over there. Whoa. There's a sheriff's department
For
over
the
there.
board, some business that we have neglected to do. In our Exhibit D, Item 3, the Secretary shall be responsible for maintaining an attendance sheet of directors and publicly reporting at each meeting during roll call the total number of absences for any absent director. Additionally, the Secretary shall indicate it if it is a second consecutive absence. At this time, Stephen Wu shows a second consecutive absence.
He's walked in.
Welcome, Stephen. Glad you could make it. Okay, moving on. The approval of, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a quorum. So I need a motion to approve the minutes for our April meeting. Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Phyllis. All right. Next, the treasurer's report. And this is for the month of April. Our checking account balance as of April 1st, 2023 is $7,110.39. Let me navigate off of this. And I'm not as
Good evening, everyone. All right, so I'm going to start off just with a couple of things that I've been working on. First off, summer's here, coming. It's going to be here in the next couple of weeks or in a month. So the kids are going to be out of school. One thing that I want to remind everyone is with summer comes the heat, which means kids are out of school. A lot of people in this night have pools. is safety amongst kids in the pools. During the summer, we get a lot of people that are, we get 911 calls of they're not monitoring their kids, or there's just accidents that happen. But please keep an eye on your children when you're having barbecues, parties. The swimming pool can be very dangerous, and it just takes a couple of seconds to kind of lose track of the kids if you're having any events. So just something to monitor that I want to kind of remind everyone about. Another thing that I want to talk about is parking enforcement. So Hacienda Heights, our station has a parking enforcement department. So I know with COVID, we had a period of time where we didn't enforce much in regards to vehicles that weren't moved. Now, as I drive through the area of Hacienda Heights, there's a lot of cars that have spider webs now that they haven't been moved. Now, those vehicles, I'm getting calls now where you need to move those vehicles because it just doesn't look right. Neighbors sometimes, you know, they want to be able to use the street and not just have a car there stored. So, in short, I want to emphasize that our department can cite for parking enforcement deputies as well as CHP. However, we have a parking enforcement department that's all they focus on. So I would recommend that when you do have an issue with vehicles that need to be red tagged, which means they get warned that they have to be moved in 72 hours, or else they get towed, or just, you know, violations that you see, call our parking enforcement department, which is the bottom of this sheet here. I could also give the number down, which is 626-330-3301. You can also call my business line or email me if there's any parking issues that you have, and we'll follow up with that as well to make sure we fix that issue. I've had some situations where there's a lot of private roads also in Hacienda Heights that are not actually where we can force the owner, that it belongs to the owner, and sometimes they don't even know that that road belongs to them. So in order for us to enforce anything there, we would need the cooperation of the owner of that house to be able to move some vehicles or actually talk to those people. So I just did that this last week, where we had a couple of parking issues. The owner didn't even know that he had that, but his neighbor did. So they talked to each other, they called me, and I was able to get that vehicle moved. So just something to talk to. If you have any questions in regards to that, please feel free to let me know. Another thing I've been dealing with, there's encampment with some unhoused people on Binney Street by Hinnon. So I've been dealing with that property there. It's by the freeway, by the 60 freeway, and it's Caltrans property. So they've been notified. Senator Archuleta's office has been also helping in hoping to expedite the process to put some signage up to be able to provide these people some services and get them to a different place. I know there's several residents that are concerned with that encampment, so we've been working on it. I have been going, and I cited a couple of vehicles that park on Biddy and then just walk over. So that's something we're working on and just kind of waiting, hopefully, to get that signage up. Another thing I'm working on is a business watch at the Hacienda Village, the shopping center right there by Chrissy Donuts. So the property manager reached out to me and wants to get a little, like a neighborhood watch meeting, but for the business, to kind of just educate, provide my services, what I help out with in that shopping center. So I have that planned in the near future. And I'm also planning a neighborhood watch meeting in the Cardillo area this Thursday also. So if you guys are interested in any neighborhood watch groups or business watch, if you have a business in Hacienda Heights, please reach out to me and we can coordinate something to kind of just educate people what we can help with and what resources we have available in the Hacienda Heights area. Going back to our stats that we have here posted, I'm going to start with crimes against persons for the month of April. So we had 7 assaults for the month of April compared to 5 in April of last year. Overall for the year, we've had 29 assaults compared to 26 in 2022 for the month of April. So that's up 18%. Robberies, we had 4 robberies in April compared to 3 robberies last year. Overall, we've had 9 for April compared to 4 in 2022, and that's also up. Burglaries, 3 burglaries for April compared to 10 burglaries in April of 2022. 26 for the year of this year compared to 34 last year this time, so that's down 23%. Residential burglaries, that's when your house gets broken into. That's 6 for the month of April compared to 5 in April of 2022. So for the year, we're at 29 burglaries compared to 33. So that's down 12%. Thefts, we're at 33 for April compared to 35 of last year. Overall, for the year, we're at 156 thefts compared to 135 of 2022, and that's at 15%. Auto thefts, when they steal your car, that's at 10 for the month of April compared to 9 in 2022. For April, overall, for the year, 44 auto thefts compared to 33 last year. So that's at 33%. And overall crime rate for the year, it's up 11% compared to last year. Now, I'll take any questions. If anybody has anything they want to, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I remember previously you talked about it took 2 years to clear those RVs parked on Halliburton, and they got cleared, but they're back. There's 3, I drive through there every morning and come back in the afternoon, and there's 3 parked there all the time with their personal vehicles parked there. And I read the sign that's posted and it's saying restricted parking, but it says commercial vehicles. So is that how they're getting around staying there parked?
For that specific location, yes. So we're limited to what we can enforce there. We're working on new signage. They have to do a traffic survey in that area, so it takes some time, but there is, we're working on that area for now. So there is something in the works to work on that. And then, we got to provide some outreach as well, which we've been doing. So it's in the works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone else? Scott?
Quick question. Board Member Andrea Quinones and I were talking about the easement along the 60 freeway, and many people who are starting to live along there and set up encampments in there. Whose jurisdiction is that?
The state. That's Caltrans.
So if we saw people going in or out, or saw activity back in there, people hauling in clothing and tents, then we call Caltrans?
So Caltrans is the one that would help, that would put signage. So we can't just go over there and tell them to leave. There's a protocol that we have to go based off. So there has to be signage where they get sufficient amount of time to prepare to leave that area. So that's what I'm waiting on, the signage from Caltrans to get. Once we get that signage, then we can move forward in the next phase. For now, obviously everything's been done in regards to pictures that have been provided to them. I've asked the people to leave verbally, just ask if they need anything. But in regards to me just forcing them out there, I can't do that. So, I did my contact outreach with them, let them know that signage will be coming up in the near future. So, just so they're prepared. Some of them voluntarily left. I did go and check because some of the residents were saying that they were directly behind their backyard. I just went this past, I think on Friday, I walked through the whole path, and I didn't see anything directly next to their backyard. It was more like in the middle, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. We did cite some vehicles that were expired, that were in parking in the neighborhood that residents complained about. So we're just keeping an eye on it, monitoring it, and keeping in contact with Caltrans. So once they get that done, we can move forward.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Adriana?
I have not received any calls at this time yet. I know in the past I've worked closely with you and other residents. I provided my number. I think everyone has my number for the most part now, where if you do see something with a neighbor or just anyone, you kind of have a specific area that you want me to focus on. What I found successful in the past, they've actually told me, like, well, this house is lighting up illegal fireworks. So I'll go and do a door knock and let them know if they could please stop that, and let them know the dangers that can cause. We've had banners or stuff that we provided to them, flyers that shows them the violations. Now we would need to see them in action in order for us to enforce and cite them, that's the difficult part. So we do focus, once it gets a little closer, where we'll shift our schedule and start doing more of the high visibility to prevent them from doing that, or hopefully catch some of them and prevent that. Yes?
Does a neighbor have video evidence help, or do you physically have to see it yourself?
We physically have to see it, because then you would have to be on the site probably, which I don't want that to happen, that we're gonna have some neighbor to neighbor issues, which some neighbors don't mind, but I don't recommend that. But yeah, it would be one of those. But for the most part, it has been successful, where I'll continue to go and do a door knock and talk to them, or something. It's the kids, the parents don't even know, and then I'll talk to the parents and let them know, and then I'll just continue going to that specific area and showing my presence to help out with that.
So we just need to find the barbecue.
Yeah, as long as there's burgers and hot dogs, yes, yeah. Because a lot of the times the people doing this, they're families, they're just people just like us. So, you know, that's why I like to give them a warning. Sometimes they're like, well, we do this in this area and it's legal. Like, well, a lot of these fireworks are illegal, which, you know, causes a lot of injuries.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Rowland. Appreciate it. And next, representing the Santa Fe Springs Station for the California Highway Patrol, we have Motor Officer O'Toole.
First off, I just want to apologize if I start slurring or drooling at all. I just had a temporary crown put on about 2 hours ago, so my mouth is still a little numb, so don't call the police on me saying I'm intoxicated or anything. Scott, to piggyback on top of Jose's comment about the homeless encampments, Caltrans usually posts about a 72-hour notice for these people. They usually give them about 84 to 96 hours, but it's not a guarantee, only because Caltrans has their hands full with, you know, sweeping the freeways and vegetation and pothole repair and everything else. So they're multitasking like crazy. So we can ask these people to leave and do it the best they can, and they'll leave, you know, a quarter of what they own, if you want to call it that, take it with them. Caltrans will come in and clean the rest, but as they move down the freeway, those people come right back behind them and fill in where they just cleaned out. So it's a vicious cycle, but it does get taken care of. It's not a cure-all by any means. So. Like Scott said, I'm Officer O'Toole. I'm at the Santa Fe Springs CHP office. Just to go over a few stats real quick. Last month, we had April 23, we had 53 traffic collisions, which is 38 more than we had in March. It's a 39% increase. Not sure why that is. I don't think it was a very wet month. Maybe people are excited that it's dry out and they're starting to speed up. I'm not quite sure. But it's something to think about. As Jose said, or Deputy Rowland said, that school's going to be letting out pretty soon. There's going to be more kids out on the streets. They let it, you know, school lets out earlier and earlier every year, so they let out in May now. So again, schools are going to be out. There's going to be a lot of kids, you know, roaming around. And now that COVID's, if you want to call it, officially over, and the weather's good, you know, the cabin fever's open. They want to get out and play and do their thing. So as you're driving down the residential streets, please slow down, because you never know when a kid's going to jump out and playing ball or whatever they might be doing. If you do have any traffic complaints, as you see underlined in blue, you can email us at 550trafficcomplaints@chp.ca.gov. Any traffic complaints you might have, just you can remain anonymous. We're not going to, you know, go out to traffic complaint and go to the residents and say, hey, your neighbor in the blue house over there, they just told us that, you know, you're parking illegal. You're not. We keep you anonymous, and we go out and we'll definitely enforce it. May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So if you are a motorcycle rider, be sure you're wearing proper safety equipment. I see people in tennis shoes and flip-flops and shorts, and I'm just gonna run to the store real quick. And literally in my neighborhood alone, I came across a guy that was just going down the street to grab a soda from the liquor store, and a car pulled out in front of him, and he had, you know, some significant road rash that, you know, just literally just long pants and the right shoe equipment would have made a huge difference. But so nothing's ever a real quick trip that you can just wear flip-flops, shorts, whatever it might be, if you are a rider. On the other end of it, if you are a car driver, be aware. Some of these headlights aren't very bright on some of these motorcycles, so take that second, third look if you have to see if there is a motorcycle coming, and I drive with my Hy-Vee on during the day, because I just want to be seen, even though I'm on a white and black motorcycle. People aren't looking. People are looking at cell phones. People got their dogs on the left. People are doing with their kids, whatever it might be. People do not look. So I drive like I'm invisible and ride to prepare to brake or do whatever I have to do to avoid a collision. My office does provide a motorcycle safety class. There's no set time frames that we have these. It's just by demand if we get enough people to attend the class. So we do a PowerPoint to start the class, and then we do an actual riding course down in the San Gabriel riverbed with cones, and just kind of educate some of the seasoned riders or brand new riders on slow movement, cone work, if you have it, if you will, and keep just to keep them safe on their own motorcycles and ride within the ability of themselves as well as their motorcycles as well. The Santa Fe Springs area conducted in partnership, when it says CHP Southern Division, we call Southern Division LA County. So we have different divisions throughout the state. LA County is called Southern Division. So we did an impaired driver task force. During that, on April 15th, we removed 38 DUI drivers were arrested. 1 felony pursuit arrest was made. 12 citations were issued for various moving violations. 173 verbal warnings were issued. 35 vehicles were impounded, and 24 field sobriety tests were conducted, but not determined not to be impaired, and the people were sent on their way. So we are out there. As it's heating up, people get more thirsty, if you want to call it that. They're going to start drinking more. If you are out on the road and you think you see an impaired driver on the freeway, the roadway, call 911. Please report it. We love getting these guys off the road, because they're like I said at the last meeting, we had an impaired driver that killed a 12-year-old girl driving the wrong way on the 60 freeway. We love to get these people off the road. They are a hazard, and they're literally out there killing people. And just to finish, last meeting, and I'm not sure, I believe it was Phyllis asked me about dangerous roadways in the Hacienda Heights area. So I just did a quick study, and over the last 2 years, there have been 5 fatalities in the unincorporated Hacienda Heights area at these intersections, and it's not to say that these intersections are dangerous. There's all kinds of circumstances that come into play. Maybe it had been a pedestrian that walked in the roadway, or somebody ran a red light just out of the blue. But there's only been 5 in the unincorporated Hacienda Heights area, and that's been at Turnbull and Vallecito, Turnbull and Northview Terrace, Hacienda at Del Prado, Colima at Stimson, and Orchard Hill at Pepperbrook Way. So again, that's not to say to stay away from those intersections. It's just, it might be just a coincidence, but or just a pedestrian that might have stepped out in the roadway and gotten hit by a car. But just to follow up on that, I was answering your question for that from last month. So if anybody else has any comments, complaints, concerns, questions?
Any questions for Officer O'Toole?
No?
Okay.
All right, thank you for your...
Thank you, Officer O'Toole. And next we move into our public input. And during public input, you have 3 minutes to speak on a topic, any topic. The board is not here to solve that issue, and we will not take questions to try to answer this. There may be representatives for LA County in here, law enforcement obviously, so if they are around after, I would recommend that you go find them and bring those concerns to them, because we, again, we're not elected officials, we're volunteers. We don't make the rules and the laws and the codes. At 3 minutes, I will ask you to please stop, and then we will move on to the other person. Now, I understand that some people were sending in their public input forms to the info@hhia.net and was getting kicked back. Show of hands if that was happening to a few people. So we got a couple, 2, 3, 4 in the audience. So I'll look into that to find out why that's happening. I don't know why it's happening. We do have 2 people who sent these in, and then I'll just ask from the audience if someone has public input. A couple of you came up to me before the meeting started. So first, Kelvin Chen here. Please come up to the microphone and make sure that's on.
You mean from here or from here? Examples of problems are abundant. I will just name a few, other than my wife's experience of being robbed in broad daylight in front of a local supermarket. That was in October 13, 2019, right before the pandemic started. My wife and I used to say, bad things would never happen to us. Well, you know, we were wrong, and it did happen to us, and it could happen to everyone. For many months after the incident,
Thank you, Mr. Schaus. And do we have other public input? Yes, sir. And if you would please slowly say your name.
My name is David Fang.
Spell your last name, please, David.
A-N-G.
F-A-N-G?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Can I
Go ahead.
start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the county's home center project,
I'm gonna shoot from over there
there's
so I can see
lack
it.
of a solid, comprehensive business plan. I'm an attorney. I practiced law in California for 32 years. I reviewed many business plans. The test is very important. It's called the SWOT test. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The weakness about this project, we didn't see it. What about the threat? We care public safety. Not only the facility must have public safety. Maybe they need armed security guard. We need police. We need police car. So where is the budget? We want same rule applied to Hacienda residents. We don't want to lower our living quality. So that's really important. Where is the budget? We need the budget in the package. If no budget, no permit. It's too close to school. Palm Elementary School, Los Altos High School. The school need to hire more teacher and mental health specialist. Where is the budget? County didn't provide the solid plan. And Motel 6, 2 minutes they can walk to the freeway. Right now, jaywalking is not criminal. What's the threat? Anybody practice that? If a homeless walk to the freeway, traffic jam will come. So not only Hacienda Heights, Rowland High, Diamond Bar, Walnut, City of Industry, La Ponte, we are staying together. We need that. We don't oppose the plan. However, it must be clear, credited, comprehensive business plan. It's really important to our community. I hope HHIA directors, you stand in your position. We are asked, all the officials, elected officials, they stand their position. We'll fight back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plank. Public input? Sir. And your first name and spell your last name, please.
Michael, last name is Wang, W-A-N-G. I live in Hacienda Heights since 1989. Since 1989. My son, that time is 1 year old, and then he grew up in here. So that's my place, you know. And what I'm trying to say is the motels, the traffic, because you know, we have a 60 go east, west, and then also up ramp, and then it's a very close to their home key location. And then last time, May 4th, they never tell us how to prevent those people walk over there. Because, we've been living here so long, we don't know, we always know where it can go, where it cannot go. But those is home key people, they're not familiar with this area. So they see that, have a tree around the side, looks very good, so they can go up to the freeway. And CHP, the officer just tell us they cannot do anything. So and all this, I think HHIA, when they developed this, you probably didn't know either, because they submit to the county planner in the last year, December 22nd. And then during that, the planner had to be studying what's going on, and then can they do that or not. But they supposed to be, because this one doesn't have to notify everybody. They only need to post a post, just say, hey, we're gonna have a permanent home key, and then post in their fence. And then that location is a recess behind the Chevrolet, so nobody will know, nobody will see it. So after that, they say, okay, nobody against it. Hacienda Heights, the residents, very nice, they like it. So that's why, the planner should have some condition there. And then next week or week after that, because they're gonna be public record, so I'm going to find out what's going on. And the planner approved in the February 22nd. That's what, February 22nd. They submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, okay.
Other public input? Sir?
Yeah.
Is this on the topic of Project Home Key? Okay, so this will be the last related to Project Home Key. So if we have other public input about other things going on in Hacienda Heights, please come up to the mic. We can probably take about 2 more people. We have a presentation this evening, and then we have our business. And your name, sir?
Checking.
And spell your last name?
Y-U.
Y-U.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Yu.
No problem.
Membership, something to say for public, say one more, and then that last.
Thank you, Stephen. What we want to do with the time we have is to have the public who's attending our meetings have the opportunity to speak. Best, ideally.
When our time comes, we can say something as well, but I think it's important that the voice of our community is heard and not limit their voice, because their voice has not been heard. Thank you.
Yes. Appreciate
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate HHIA contribution our community for a long time. Okay? But this time I have to say something, okay? Because the county, what they did, I don't think that's a good point right now. So I want the county can schedule a public hearing again to listen all the Hacienda Heights resident voice. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. Second thing is when the county do something, they must be transparent to all the people, not under the people. Okay, that's the United States. Okay. If you look at the last time they have the meeting there, okay. Another thing sounds beautiful, but for us, no guarantee, okay? Because county, they must serve the residential in the Hacienda Heights, not serve the supervisor in the county or governor. That's their county responsibility. That's their duty. That is their job. Okay? Fully understand that. Okay? Look at the pen. Okay? I have a couple questions. Okay? Who has the right? What is the pen you hire the security company? Okay? What is the background check? Okay? What is standard? Do you exclude the mental person? Do you exclude the drug person? Right? So that if you want to, you have to document it and guarantee it, because you put the name here. If something not follow the processing, who take the responsibility? Because you cannot be service only. I know the homeless people. Yeah, I understand the situation, right? You serve them, you protect them. Yes, they are right. But you think about it, one, you protect them, serve them, how about you think about it, you protect us and serve us. Make sure what you did, satisfy the people living here, right? That's a major point. You have to make sure what you did. You have to be responsible to people living here. Make sure the security, protection them, and serve them. Let certify the people, let them fully understand what you did. But now, no one tells us. It's in a picture. Oh, that's a wonderful house, bad house, and also 100% admire any people because they build a homeless center here, make the property. While it's up, that for me is not exactly right. Give me the paper, give me the data. You are customer, you're your county staff, right? Why you hire all the people without a paper? That's why I say, do anything to talk to the people here. You must prepare.
Thank you, Mr. Yu.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have somebody who wants to speak on topics other than Project Home Key? Not time for questions, Michael. Anybody else? Non-Project Home Key? Non-Project Home Key? Okay, and then you? Are you speaking on Project Home Key?
Can I speak?
Question, are you speaking on Project Home Key?
No, really. I'm talking about the safety in our community.
Is it about the homeless facility?
No, not really. Because I
Okay, so if you speak about Project Home Key or the homeless facility, if you want to talk about safety in general, to Hacienda Heights, yes.
My point. I need to express.
Okay, what is your, as long as it is not about Project Home Key, we have other members who want to speak. What is your name? Okay, this is the first warning. If you disrupt this meeting, a second warning will come out, and then I will shut the meeting down. Please, be civil.
I just try to express the feeling that I represent the Church of Hacienda Heights here, and I need to say something about what's happening.
Okay, about safety, not Project Home Key, not about the homeless. What is your first name, please?
My first name is Juan, K-O-N, last name is K-O.
Hang on one second. K-O.
Yes.
Okay, and go ahead, Mr. Cole.
Okay. Actually, recently, Hacienda Heights actually have a lot of problem with human rights. Even if you see that I think you drive by Colima and Azusa, right? There's a place where I stay. But I realized that you have seen so many homeless people just panhandling around, which is, which you feel very uncomfortable. Okay, this is a serious problem. And I do realize that the county has tried to do something about it. But as we are the resident of Hacienda Heights, I think we should actually take something into this. This is a quite serious problem because my wife and me, we were walking in a park. And I see some of the homeless even put fingers at my wife. If that was you, what do you feel? It actually brings some big issues to our city, although we are incorporated, right? Okay. And other things that we have a church, and we have 300 people, which are regular meeting people, and there's about at least nearly 200 families which live in here. So if the county has some project, if they want to carry it out, it is okay. But one thing is we need to be noticed. or we have to be informed in a sense of, in a way that you have write letters or something that we know in beforehand, so we can actually comprehend with it. But the thing doesn't come up that way. That's why I was actually trying to express that although people who live in Hacienda Heights has a right, okay? And you are the person who actually has a Hacienda Heights Improvement Association. So you are trying to improve our life, and we improve each other. But we think that something was just by informed by other people that we are going to do something and was not in our account. So that I think we should look at it into it in serious way. Okay? I don't want to say anything about the homeless center, but one thing is I do realize that the day that they do information telling us that the place has to be 24/7 under surveillance. If that's in your place, you know, I was thinking, I'm not trying to judge anything, but I will say something about it. If you have a prison, it should be in a remote area, in a sense that will make us away from that. That's what I was thinking, okay? Because that actually affect my life, and it put actually burden to our city. So that's why I was trying to say, if you want to do something, you can do it, but do it reasonably, okay? Because that's what you actually invade our life. That we actually have to see something towards it. And we try to improve the safety, everything of Hacienda Heights. Then we have to actually look into forward to see everything that we are doing. And well planned and well prepared. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Excuse me, I would like to mention that the 5 more speakers for any topics.
We have business that we have to still get through. We have a presentation that takes 15 to 20 minutes. We have board members, we will have this conversation in private, but you need to understand, this is a board of directors. We are here to hear the public for public input, not to hear the board members. We've had enough of our conversations.
No, stop. That's
So,
not the way.
let this, excuse me, I am running this meeting,
We are
okay?
a board member.
Then we'll have a conversation afterwards about that. Please stick around after the meeting and we'll talk a little bit further about it. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Roy Humphreys. The last name is Humphrys. And I'm actually from your neighbor right over here, Rowland Heights, very active. And I'm here to help you, and it's going to just take a couple seconds. The persons here are talking and complaining about certain issues. Tomorrow morning, and Ryan Serrano can verify this, at approximately 9:30, you can get in queue virtually, or you can go downtown and plead your case to the County Board of Supervisors. And not, I feel sorry for these people here taking the brunt of the action there. So if you want, and I do it every Tuesday, and you go on my YouTube channel, just go Roy Humphreys. This young lady did it back here, Rowland Heights, and boom, I put in little excerpts, and all the things that you've complained about here are on my YouTube channel. And I'm the guy that got shot in the arm by the transients over here at Fullerton. Caltrans, by the way, and I know the district guy personally. I got shot in the arm by the transits habitating the tunnels over there. So that's it. Roy Humphreys, I'm here to help you. But help yourself by going to the supervisors meeting tomorrow morning. Get in the queue. You have to wait a while, but get in there and go to the source of the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Humphreys. Yes, Stephen. Yeah, it's right up there, or you can go out there.
Hello, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Stephen Wu. I'm the physician in Hacienda Heights. I see a lot of my patients over here. So the concern we all heard. As a board member, we heard. Maybe not everyone heard, and we understand. So from medical viewpoint, it's very important for create safety, not only environmental, also health. So now, we are not going to talk more. Most important, the board member, Scott, that you are just representing at this moment, the host the meeting. Board member has everything to say. So now I propose, we already heard everything. So why not the board member let's do this way. We are representing individual, but also majority vote.
Yes.
Will decided.
There will be no votes taken because we don't vote. It's
Well,
not for voting, Stephen.
in 1
Who would
second.
you like to go to the microphone, Stephen?
One
Who would you like to go to the
I am
microphone?
the board member. You don't order me what to do. So
Who
what
do you
I would
want
like
to-
to say
who do you want to
that
public input?
each board member, for me, and if that's easy, raise your hand.
Andrea Quinones, one of our board members, doing public input and speaking as a resident of Hacienda Heights, not as a board member.
Good evening, my name is Andrea Quinones, and just to let you know, I am with you. I am not, some people say that we lack compassion. It's not lacking compassion, it's lacking transparency. I think that the county could have done a better job of including the community, including law enforcement, including other elected officials, coming up with ideas on solutions and not having meetings after the fact. And I think that's the reason most of us are upset. It's the lack of transparency, it's not the lack of compassion. What I can tell you is that all of us board members do hear you, do want to work with you. I also know that we want to work with Supervisor Solis' office. I also know that we want to work with law enforcement. So, it is very frustrating for you.